This is Jeff Grebe with Weichert Realtors Advantage Plus, and this is your market moment for Monday, November 29th. There are a lot of questions right now regarding the real estate market as we head into 2022. The forbearance program is coming to an end, and mortgage rates are beginning to rise. With all of this uncertainty, anyone with a megaphone, from the mainstream media to a lone blogger, has realized that bad news sells. Unfortunately, we'll continue to see a rash of troublesome headlines over the next few months. To make sure you aren't paralyzed by a headline, turn to reliable resources to find out what to expect from the housing market next year. There are already alarmist headlines starting to appear. Here are two recent topics you may have seen in the news. There are a number of headlines circulating that call out the rising foreclosures in today's real estate market. Those stories focus on an overly narrow view on the topic, the current volume of foreclosures compared to 2020. They emphasize that we're seeing far more foreclosures this year than compared to last. That seems rather daunting. However, though it's true foreclosures have been up over 2020 numbers, it's important to realize that there were virtually no foreclosures last year because of the forbearance program. If we compare this September to September of 2019, the last normal year, foreclosures were down 70%. We expected, now that the moratorium has ended and been over for the last 3 months, foreclosure activity to increase, but it's increasing at a slower rate. And it appears that most of the activity is primarily on vacant and abandoned properties or loans that were in foreclosure prior to the pandemic. Homeowners who have been impacted by the pandemic are not generally the ones being burdened right now. That's because the forbearance program has worked. Ollie Harrelson, president of Auction.com, explains that the program has done a remarkable job. The tsunami of foreclosures many feared in the early days of the pandemic has not materialized, thanks in large part to the swift and decisive foreclosure protections put in place by government policymakers in the mortgage servicing industry. Another topic that's generating frequent headlines is the rise in mortgage rates. Some people are expressing concern that rising rates will negatively impact the housing market by causing home sales to dramatically decline. The resulting headlines are raising unneeded alarm. To counteract those headlines, we need to take a look at what history tells us. Looking at the data over the last 20 years, there's no evidence that an increase in mortgage rates dramatically forces sales to come to a halt, nor does home price appreciation come to a screeching stop. Let's look at the home sales first. The last 3 times increase shown in the graph by the red, the sales depicted by blue remained rather consistent. That's true, and they only fell dramatically in 2007 to 2010, but mortgage rates were also falling at that time. The 2 instances after that showed no significant decrease in sales. So when it comes to appreciation, again, we see that rates didn't cause prices to depreciate. Outside of the years following the crash, prices continue to appreciate, just at a slower rate. Bottom line, there's a lot of misinformation out there. If you want the best advice on what's happening in the current market, let's connect. As always, you can reach us at 865-474-7100 or online at AdvantagePlusTN.com.